Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So today, I'm really excited about this topic actually because I was talking with my son about this last night, but the more I thought about it, the more I was excited to share. So when it comes to learning lessons, right? I remember having this, my son said to me last night, he was like, I'm tired of learning lessons. Like, when is it just going to work? And I remember having this conversation with God before, being like, okay, I'm done learning lessons. Like, can we get to the good stuff, right? And the very first, if you get nothing else from this podcast whatsoever, what I want you to know is that lessons are not equivalent to failure. So when you learn a lesson and something happens, you do something, whatever, and it doesn't create the level of success that you want, but you learn a lesson, that is a step in the direction of success. It is not equivalent to failure at all. None, zero, right? So success is not an event. It is a process. And as you learn these lessons, you're taking steps in the process, right? Towards more and more success, right? And so as I was reflecting on this, I thought, okay, right? So learning lessons, how do we make this feel good, right? Because we're trying to achieve something. We're trying to hit a success marker, whether it's a goal or a time to beat or a great golf score or placing in something, right? Or an income goal or, a number of clients that we want to get. We want to, be able to receive in our business, sales goals, right? There's something that we're all working towards. And that lesson is merely a step in the direction towards that. And the thing is, we're never going to stop learning lessons. Ever, right? It's kind of like the laundry. So unless you commit to living in a nudist colony, it's never going to end. So life is about the lessons that you learn along the way. And if you deem the lessons as failure, you're going to struggle through the lessons longer. But if you see the lessons as an opportunity and a step closer to success, the lessons aren't going to weigh you down as much. You're actually going to be excited to learn them, right? And if you spend any time in the development world, you've heard that, I believe it's Einstein. It's not Alexander Graham Bell. Totally lost it. But when it came to, I'm going to have to Google this now because it's going to irritate me. Bear with me on this one. Because it's important here. All right, so let's see. I'm going to pull this up. Okay, so, it's Thomas, that's who it is, Thomas Edison. I totally screwed that up. All right, he said that he didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. I love that, right? So Thomas Edison didn't fail 1,000 times. It took him 1,000 steps to get to the light bulb. And the same is true with where we're headed. These are steps in the right direction. And as you learn these lessons and when you integrate them, you can move through the lessons faster. But sometimes those lessons have to keep coming at you. You have to keep getting hit with the same lesson again and again until you're like, okay, I get it. I'm going to stop doing that thing. Right? Or I need to shift my mindset around this, or I need to come to terms with that, right? And then the steps move faster and faster and faster, right? So sometimes it feels like you're walking or even crawling through these lessons, but other ones you're like skipping and jumping and like sprinting through them. And you're like, oh, lesson, done, right? Like there are all of these steps on the way to success. And there are lessons along the way. If you can integrate those lessons, and by integrate, I mean you take what you've learned and you've actually learned from it, right? This is the biggest thing that makes me crazy as a college professor. I've been teaching in higher education for 18 years now. And the thing that irritates me the most, more than anything else, is when I comment on a student's paper and I give them suggestions as to how to make it better, whether it's grammatical, whether it's APA format, whatever it is. When I give them that information, it irritates the crap out of me when they make that same exact mistake in their next assignment. Because they haven't learned anything from this assignment. They haven't learned the lesson. They haven't integrated it. Maybe they learned it, but they didn't integrate it. So it's still reflective in their work. The more you can integrate these lessons, the most likely the faster you'll move through these things. So integrate means it becomes a part. Like, this was part of my doctoral process. And I've shared this before in my APA manual. I'm going to get it for you now if you're watching this on YouTube, so bear with me. So I remember getting an email from my dissertation chair, and he said to me, I don't think you're serious about becoming a doctor. And I remember slamming my laptop shut at the time and walking away and just being so pissed. So pissed, because I felt like I was doing the work. But what I wasn't doing was I wasn't actually integrating it. I wasn't taking responsibility for the things that I actually needed to work on. I'm trying to find this page, and it's going to irritate me now. And so after receiving that email, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. So I made a list, you can see this if you're watching the YouTube, of my most common errors. Look at me learning things. And I made a list of the most common errors. And when I was writing every revision that I then sent to him, I went through the list. It was a running list. It got longer each time because he was finding different things. And I would go through this list prior to submitting the work to him. And eventually it got to the point that he had nothing else to say, and my paper was good. My dissertation worked out, and he was like, okay, you've learned. You're a doctor now. You're allowed to defend this dissertation because you've actually integrated it. You've learned it. And I have this list. It's 27 things. This sounds like a book, right? There are 27 things that I found that I had to work on in my writing in order for him to say, yes, we can go on to the next level. Yes, you've achieved it. Yeah, you hit success. So it wasn't 1,000 failure, right? It was probably 1,000 failure after how many revisions I did. But once I got the hang of this, right, it was 27 revisions that I had to do each time, or I had to look at specifically, that he was picking up repeatedly. Okay, all right. The very first one on here, comma placement. Yep. So you're welcome for that lesson. And so the thing is here, right, like, we're never going to be done learning lessons, but lessons are not equivalent to failure. They are steps on the way to success. And if you can begin to see it that way, then you get excited about the lessons you learned. You're like, oh, all right, right? Like, my husband and I have shared this before. We recently purchased a business, and QuickBooks has changed its interface, which is really irritating the crap out of me. But nevertheless, I made a mistake, and the product was being shipped to our office address as opposed to the client, and they charged me $150 to reship it to the client. And I was annoyed would be the easiest way to say that. Frustrated at the fact that I had forgotten to change the shipping address to the client's address. And it was a $150 mistake. Now, I'm grateful that it wasn't a $150,000 lesson and only a $150 lesson, right? So I'm able to reframe those pretty quickly. Am I still a little annoyed about it? Yeah, it is. It's annoying because I just didn't triple check. But now, as my husband said, you're not going to make that mistake again, right? Like, that less done, right? Like, integrated, there's a system now going to make sure I double check that all the time, and that mistake won't happen again, right? And so sometimes we do learn these lessons that cost us a little bit. And that's okay because they're on the way to success. It's not failure. Every lesson is not failure. It is simply a step in the direction of success, right? So I am sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And if you are an entrepreneur and you are looking for some support to getting your business to the next level, business and life to the next level, because business is personal, I would love to have a conversation with you. I currently have spots available for private coaching. That is all I'm offering right now because I love those containers. So if you are looking for the next level in your life and business, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. My goal for my clients is for them to feel fulfilled in their work and in their life and work, and not have to experience burnout or overwhelm or any of those other things that can so often come with owning a business. So we work through a lot of things. We do time management, we do priorities and boundaries and communication. I mean, it is really tailored to you and the things that you want to go to, and we have there's a system in place for that, but it's also very personalized. So I would love to have a conversation with you. Feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram or my website at stephaniesnyderphd.com, and have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.